Got the pack, take the tax, what I usually help yeah. Help, baby, take it into got the pack, take the tax, what I yo, check it, Tenfold hat tight, check the stands. Got that reptilian resistance dance. They say the earth flat, a pizza pie. I just want my cut before I die. Mic check, 1, 2, truth, serum flow, word. Ricky on the line, gotta know. Conspiracy lunch, that's the spot. Deep state secrets, keep it hot. Gravy on the side, Illuminati fries. Conspiracy lunch, open your eyes. Florida in the water, got us tame. Chemtrails in the sky ain't the same. Now they watching all of us. Lizard overlords plus GMO corn, mind control. No. Conspiracy lunch. That's the spot. Deep state secrets. Keep it hot. Gravy on the side. Illuminati fries. Conspiracy lunch. Open your eyes.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
What's up, everybody? Ooh, I got it loud. Yeah. What's up, everybody? We're going to have another conspiracy lunch with me. Figure I'll pop on today, have a little fun. What's up, Jason? Knights of the Storm. He's in the chat already. Just going to talk about some of the crazy stuff going on in the world right now with all the ask some questions, and we'll see if I get some answers. I don't know, but got to ask the questions. I also wanted to come on live and try to remind everybody about the show tonight. Tonight's show is going to be good. Deep down, I know it's going to be good. So we got, but today during lunch, let's see if I got who we got going. Got a couple. That's all right. Sounds good. I appreciate it. I've been trying. I was thinking about doing this a little while ago, and I said, I'm about losing lunchtime. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. If I wait too long, it'd be just best just to set up for the night. But what I got, oops, I keep clicking the wrong doggone thing. And it's a wild world we got going on right now. We got Paris, riots in Paris. Excuse me. Poland, Nepal is absolutely it's wild. It's a wild time, and I'm just kind of curious on. I mean, no doubt, like some of these, they need to, I'm sure there was some regime changes and stuff needs to go on, but it's all at the same time. Everybody got fed up at the same time. This building been burning for last night. They set this sucker on fire. It burned all night long. It's wild. No more parliament in Nepal. Here it was last night on fire. Just built in 1903. Crazy. They're destroyed a media house. They tried to stop social media. They tried to, cut it off. France is talking about doing the same thing. They're chasing politicians down and just beating them in the streets. And people are fed up. But is it orchestrated? Is it bankrolled? Is it, is a certain group pushing for this kind of thing? We've seen that happen over and over in history, that, certain groups have pushed for a government regime changes all around the world. And is it happening again? Um, Here it is in France. They're just pushing back, pushing back. Absolutely fed up. And I don't know. Like I said, that's my question for today for lunchtime is, is it is something orchestrating this overturn? Because, you got Poland's got the same stuff going on. What am I looking for? Where's it at? There it is. I think I got some in here. I was pushing stuff everywhere. Oh yeah, Poland over here burning the EU flag um, outside the government building. Russia has accused the U.S. of using crypto to wipe out the $35 trillion in debt too. That's all at the same time. Huh. I don't know. There's lots of stuff going on at one time over in the crazy world. It just makes, like I said, it just makes me wonder. What's up, Shane? Appreciate you popping in on a last minute kind of lunch show. I figured I'd pop up today, get ready to help remind everybody about the show tonight. It will be a 9/11 anniversary show. So we will be talking all kinds of 9/11 facts and showing lots of information, sharing stories, and we're going to have. I know we're have Jason from Knights of the Storm. We might have the whole Knights of the Storm crew there tonight, so it's going to be a fun one. Hoping they all are able to show up, and then of course I have my crew with me with Jason and David. Dave, it should be fun. Appreciate you, Jason. Yeah, it's going to be. What you've seen part of what I've wanted to share, and I've added to it. I just added more to it. I'm adding more and more and I'll probably add more to it as I go along. So it's going to be fun. Lots of fun facts, lots of fun information. Tonight, Shane. Tonight at 8:30 Central Time, we will be live and in living color here on YouTube, on Rumble, X, and all your favorite spots. So if you can come back tonight for sure, be nice. Yeah, some appreciate it, Jason. He said I had a lot of footage he had never seen. So yeah, I've been trying to dig some of the stuff I've saved for a couple years, and then I've been trying to dig and look and what's up, Indy? And find as much information, as much different angles of all the different stuff. Like the Pennsylvania airplane crash quotation mark. We'll put some quotation marks on that. There's not a lot out there. There's not much stuff out there on that. Actually video footage or pictures. Like it's hard to find stuff on that. Pentagon, same way. There's lots of 9/11 because there's nothing they could. I mean, not 9/11, but New York. But it's gonna be fun. I have a lot of information, lots of videos tonight. lots of stuff on New York, Building 7, Building 6. You know, that's Jason said he found Waldo while when searching for the plane at the Pentagon. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking for a video. If I can find it, it'd be awesome, awesome, awesome. I can't. I've been looking for the video, but there's a video out there. Yeah, y'all happen to see it, y'all send it my way, and I'll put it in there. It's I remember when the initial strike, initial plane hit the building at the Pentagon. We'll say it that way, and it was just a round hole. It's before the ceiling collapsed. And I remember seeing that years and years ago, and I'm looking for that footage right there. That's what I'm looking for. To me, that's for the Pentagon, that's a smoking gun. If not for anything else, is like the is that right there. You know, you have the slow-mo footage of the plane hitting the Pentagon as I just it does not look like a plane, but but that footage of that round hole, so it just shows that there's no way in hell that it was a plane hit it. It plane didn't hit and the wings buckle. And some of the other footage I have show like it didn't go very far into the building, so it's no way. Yeah, it was just a small hole. I remember that was after it happened. I remember seeing that. I don't know if I've seen that footage again. Oh wow. Oh, in Okinawa. I was at Kroger working receiving when it all went down. I remember somebody said it to me, and I had if everybody watched my Throwback Tuesday video, I actually shared it from the 9/11 stories and stuff. But yeah, I had one of them little bitty TVs, with a little black and white and the radio and stuff. Somebody had turned in, and it worked, so I plugged it in. I had it on my shelf, and I remember I didn't do anything after that. We went to lunch. I got done receiving, and I went to lunch. What's up, Karen? Appreciate you popping in. This last minute, I just want to ask. I'm here, and for Andy and Karen, asking questions about the Nepal and Poland and France, like all that stuff's going on at one time. It's just crazy. Uh, it's almost like it's orchestrated, like all of it's happening at the same time. It don't, to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just critical minded and thinking, but I also want to make sure everybody knows about tonight and the big show tonight. So it's going to be a fun one. Yeah, yeah. All the parts they found, was pieces, nothing matched. It's like in New York, they found that engine. They found an engine for a plane in New York, but it didn't match. It was the wrong brand. It was like they weren't even paying attention. Um, so it's like the plane that's supposed to hit it and the airline it's supposed to use and everything did not use that brand engines whatsoever. So where the jet engine pop out of nowhere on the ground in New York, somebody probably stole the damn thing. Who knows? It's New York. Yeah, a lot of truths about vaccines yesterday at the Senate hearing, and then NASA had a thing today talking about there's life on Mars, and then we got lots of fun stuff. It's crazy out there. Um, it's it's distractions. I appreciate it, Jason. Yeah, I hope they do. I hope that we have a big crowd. But I mean, I know we're going to have a good crowd. We got a good, intelligent crowd that's going to be here no matter what. I'm just looking forward to all the fun. Just bouncing all this stuff, and it really made me feel good when you're like, I had never seen that video before. I had never seen that footage before. And that's like, cool. That's what I want. I want to bring out stuff. That's what my goal of my channel was, to bring out stuff that, people might have thought about or seen or, yeah, exactly. Life on Mars is just a single cell but it's not. If it's in the womb, then it's not, it's a hypocrisy at its best. Yeah, distractions from the digital control grid and technocracy rolling is so quick. And I shared a clip real quick. It was, Russia saying that, U.S. is going to use crypto to pay off their debt and then crash it. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. For us, for that kind of thing. Yeah, Donald Trump posted videos on his True Social about everything's, he's flip-flopping on vaccines every day. Seems like 1 second he's for them, next second he's not. I don't know what to think on all that. I think that's all another distraction on his own. At least RFK is consistent when he says what he says about stuff. He's not. He's pretty steady on it. But yeah, it's society is going crazy. Yeah, that adds to it with the Clarity Act. It gave government oversight to private crypto. I mean that. It kind of falls together, with actually going to go turn around and use, maybe try to use crypto to turn around and right. Well, we don't, instead of printing money, they're just going to use that. That we're debt free now. Woohoo! I'm sure he's going to sign it. Hell, I don't be surprised he don't sign it. He likes signing shit. That's his favorite thing. Oh, look at this silly stuff. Climate activists have taken over the lobby at CBS New York office because they think CBS is siding with Trump. Look at these silly some guns.
Paramount WeCBS. Paramount WeCBS. Paramount WeCBS. Paramount WeCBS. Paramount WeCBS.
Oh, he burning.
Or die. Rebel 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 or die.
This is funny. I can see that too, Jason. Him not signing it, so like I didn't do that. I got no part of it. Uh, deniability and stuff. It does seem like the left is eating itself, though. They're always going against themselves. Yeah, Shade. He loves signing shit. His favorite thing. Yeah, go get a booster. Yeah, it's it's just a wild, wild time in our life right now. I think we have such a so much going on, so many distractions going on at the same time. Just got to ask questions and what's going on. Now they're trying to take over the vaping. Oh hell, Wally, you were live too. Appreciate you popping in, my friend. Yeah, we just talking about all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and then of course tonight we got the 9/11 special tonight. So hopefully you can pop in tonight. You and Bat, y'all can come listen because we got um, lots of good stuff. Let me appreciate. Yeah, let them know. Let your crew know because I got. Um, I got. Let's see, how long is this damn thing? If I just hit play on this thing, I got over an hour and 7 minutes of footage and pictures to show. So yeah, let everybody know. Tell them come on back tonight, 8:30 Central Time. We're gonna have some fun. You might need a pina colada on one for each hand, as the song says. Can't just have one. Gotta have two. That's something I hadn't had in a long, long time. I remember I get what the Bahama Breeze years and years ago. I was in my 20s last time. Had a pina colada. I never had one on the beach of Hawaii or anything though, but I was too young when I was in Hawaii. And it was only for a moment. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot for the show like this right here. That's like I said, this was just felt I need to pop on for any reminder for tonight, maybe. And I just say I just asking these crazy questions. There's so much stuff going on. Poland's shooting down Russian drones. Uh, they're trying to get out of the EU. This is it's life. It's like possibility this year would be a new one of the new moments in time where we know it's things have changed a lot. Kind of like like 9/11. After 9/11, shit changed everywhere. I remember we used to be able to go. Uh, I used to go drive through the Navy base to cut through to get to my grandma's house and stuff like that before 9/11. Hell, they took the fences down at one point around that damn base, but yeah, they had a new CEO come in and raise 10 kinds of shit, and they put fences back up. But and then, of course, after 9/11, that was over. You had to have license. You had to have a military ID to get through. You had to do all that, and so it just made gradually, I went to the military base a bunch still after that because my grandparents and stuff had a military, sticker on their van and ID and stuff. But me just driving through on my own, it was for sure a different time. Yeah. So it seems, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it does seem like this year is turning into a potential like just world changing year. There's a lot of people getting tired, or they're a lot fed up. They want to push back, and the bad thing is that once you get people to that point that they're ready to push back, they're fed up, then they'll jump on any group or follow any group that's even leaning that way, and it could turn sideways quick. I had not heard that. Let me look that up. Let's see. I see Charlie Kirk is in the thing here. Holy shit. Yeah, he got shot. Got footage of it. I don't know if I should share it, but holy said they caught the man that shot him though. Pre 9/11 one. Yeah. Holy shit. I'm over mind blown here to see this. This is crazy. Let me share. I ain't gonna share him getting shot though. But here's the guy that here's the guy they captured. Let's see. He's about to come down here to Mississippi too. He's about to come down to Oxford. Man, one long. I didn't know I didn't follow Charlie. It's one of them things you can see so many things. Oh damn, my fault. I wasn't trying to show that. It don't. I'm looking. It just said he's shot. Possibly not with us anymore. Yeah, I could. I don't know how they're gonna string that along. I don't know how they're going to string that one along. That if he was, um, hmm. I don't quite. I don't know what to think there. Uh, yeah, and Jason, pre 9/11 was a different time. It absolutely was. He didn't get molested at the airports. You go where you wanted to go. It was sure enough a freer time. You weren't worried about a lot of things. We still had our issues, our crime, and our problems, but it was nothing. It was sure enough a freer time. And after that, everything Patriot Act got pushed through, and all hell been breaking loose. Um, oops. Let's see if I can. I got you, Karen, on the. There you go, Karen. There's Shane's channel right there. Crazy, crazy world in. Mm. Yeah, for the ones that pray, make sure you pray for Charlie Cook for sure. Holy hell. No problem, Karen. No problem. We're tweeting right live on here. Oh yeah, and it was safe. We wasn't worried about the candy and you weren't. My parents still we always come back. Uh, no problem, Indy. Uh, ain't no problem. We were just talking about Charlie Cook getting shot in Utah. It's crazy. But yeah, Jason, it was. I know my parents still checked the candy, make sure nothing was messed up, like the wrappers were good, and that was it. Then you get to eat. Um, but it's a different time now, and it changed. And now we're with Agenda 2030, as Karen said, closing in quickly. It's something. It's gonna get crazier and crazier closer we get to it. Buckle down. The next 5 years is gonna be a bumpy ride. I think, absolute bumpy ride.
with literally turning out millions of votes on behalf of President Trump. And we've just got an ex post from the president himself, Martha, which I'll read to you now. President Trump says, "We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him." And that seems to be an appropriate moment for me to hand it back to you, Martha.
Jonathan, thank you. And we all agree with President Trump saying we must all pray in this moment. Pray for Charlie Kirk, pray for his family as we wait to hear more information about what happened today in this brutal scene that played out at Utah Valley University. I want to bring in Jason Chaffetz, former Utah Republican congressman, Fox News contributor. Jason, you were there. I could hear how upset you are in your voice, and I think we all are feeling it. And I just, but you were there, so tell us what happened.
Yeah, that happened like 35 minutes ago. I was there. I was up kind of on the second level because I wanted to be in the shade, but our daughter was there, our son-in-law was there, my wife was there, friends. This is our community. And, you know, there's 2,000 or so people. The Utah Valley University is our largest university, 40,000 students. And people came out to hear the dialogue, the back and forth, ask him anything. That's what Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's all about, ask him anything. First question was about religion. He went on for about 15, 20 minutes. Second question, interestingly, was about transgender shooters, mass shooters. And in the midst of that, the shot rang out. Now, I happen to be watching Charlie. I can't say I saw blood. I can't say I saw him get shot, but as soon as that shot went out, he fell back into his left. And everybody hit the deck. A lot of people started screaming. And then everybody started running, as you might expect. There was some police presence, but there was no security check going in, which didn't happen. Charlie has some security in front of him, but you got the sense that the shot came kind of straight at him. And I don't think there would be many vantage points too far away because he was under an awning. It's a bright, sunny, beautiful summer, end of summer day in Utah. And I just hope and pray that somehow, some way he survives this.
Jason, we're just looking at the video of Charlie tossing hats. It's a gorgeous day, as you just said. Huge smile on his face, which is his usual composure. And he's getting up onto that stage. This is the kind of thing, and everyone can see it in the upper hand, right-hand side of the screen right now, that he does. He brings a lot of energy, a lot of vitality, a lot of very astute conversation and analysis of the state of the country. And he climbed up on that stage like he always does and started taking questions. I just want to give the full statement. It's a short statement, and I know we're going to hear more from President Trump as we get more information, but this is the full statement. He said, "We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him." And President Trump knows what it's like to be shot at. He was the subject of 2 assassination attempts that were thankfully averted. One obviously hit his ear. And in this case, we're seeing something that looks much more serious, I think is fair to say at this point, as we wait for more information about how Charlie is doing. So give us a sense of this space, Jason. Were there security checkpoints on the way in here? What was it like in terms of who could get in?
So in that shot, I was standing to off to the right. I wasn't right next to him. Like I said, I was up on the balcony. I had traded messages with Charlie prior to the event. When he announced he was coming, I was excited, told him we want to come see him. Then I sent him text saying, "Hey, hope I can see you afterwards. Our family loves Charlie. Wanted to see him again." Look, this is classes are now back in session. Kids can come and go. I would say that it's, if I had to guess, 95% local students. Like I said, it's our state's largest university. There were some members that weren't students that were there, but very few. No security checkpoints. It's a very open campus. It's very much a commuter campus. Come on, Orem, Utah is one of the safest places on the planet. And so we just don't have these types of things. We don't have murders, let alone shootings, let alone something of this magnitude. And like I said, there was a light police presence. I'm sure, I hope, there were some undercover people. Charlie has his own a bit of security, but not to deal with, a couple thousand people that were there to see Charlie. They had microphone challenges because there were so many people, they couldn't get all the volume that they wanted. People are having a hard time hearing. But I think when this story is written, I don't think it was a coincidence that the shot rang out when you get a question about transgender mass shootings. That maybe, hopefully I'm wrong. I'll probably get criticized for jumping to conclusions, but I'm just telling you, in the 30 minutes or so, I thought, wow, I don't think that's a coincidence, but we'll see.
So, Jason, obviously there's a lot of images out there, a lot of video out there right now, but the university says that they have a suspect in custody. Did you have any sense of anyone in the crowd who was being taken down by people around this person? Anything of that?
Well, look, as soon as I saw Charlie go back, you realize that it was a shot. I've been shooting. I've been around guns enough to know that it was an actual shot. And immediately, I started thinking of our daughter and our son-in-law and my wife, who wasn't quite in the venue yet. So my attention, focused there and making sure they were okay and getting people out. It wasn't as if there was a whole bunch of gunfire. It was one shot.
Which makes it,
and then it stopped.
Yeah, obviously sound,
yes.
I'm sorry, you go ahead, but I mean, that's an assassination attempt. And it sounds from what you're saying that it was clearly aimed at Charlie Kirk and not, sort of a spraying in the crowd, thank God, of gunfire. It appears that this was a very targeted attempt on his life. And they did take someone into custody, though. So we're waiting for more information on that. Sometimes it can appear that, sometimes it's the right person, sometimes it isn't the right person. And we don't know the answer to that yet. Right, Jason?
No, we don't. But I can tell you, being there, seeing it within proximity, it seemed like it was a close shot. Mm-hmm. The venue is such that there's a 4-story building, which is the administrative building to the south. The other buildings around the side are not quite so high, but you could be on the second level and watch Charlie. The police had moved the people. There were some people that were above Charlie, so that awning that you're seeing there, there's a place to be there, but the police moved people out to the sides. And so you couldn't be right above where you were at. But if I had to guess, and again, it's still raw, but if I had to guess and give a police statement right here, right now, today, see where that water is? It looked to me like it was in close proximity, straight ahead, right in that area.
Yeah, we're looking
if I had to guess. Again,
of course. Yeah. No, we are have a huge caveat on everything at this point, but we're just putting together what we can. And there's a group of people right in front of the stage. Then there's a bit of a gap. I think people can see this on this aerial shot here. I don't know if that was, equipment or for some reason that area is cleared. But there's how many people would you say were in that crowd today, Jason?
So that kind of greenish spot you're looking at is water. There's just a water feature on what we call the quad, and it kind of graduates up so students can sit. And it's a great little sort of an amphitheater type thing where you can sit on the grass and look at whatever's going on down there. So again, I'm guessing 2,000 plus people. Charlie came out kind of right at noon local time, mountain time, throwing the hats, gearing up the crowd. They're having a little bit of a microphone problem, but they were chanting either USA or Charlie Kirk. And when they saw him backstage, they started chanting Charlie Kirk. They were really genuinely excited to see him. There were a few people. There was one gay pride flag there, but they were not disruptive. They were very respectful in every sense of the way. He came out and acknowledged them, said, hey, come down, be part of the discussion, which the crowd took really well. And that's the idea of Charlie Kirk, is that he'd answer things from anybody, and you can come stand. So there's that little grassy area, and there's security there, but you can come walk up there. They hand you a microphone, and you can ask and interact with Charlie. But the person that was asking the question, I don't think, again, if I had to guess, I don't think was the shooter. I think it happened behind that person. But I just,
Can I ask you, Jason?
I'm still in shock that it happened.
Of course. We're all just processing this, and you were there with your family, obviously.
Yeah, Jason, I wonder, if that person does, they need a charge with inciting, if that's what it was, and, that's an intent, the reasoning behind this individual's wanting to shoot Charlie. If you don't have to agree with everything Charlie says, and I don't agree with everything he says, but he does allow anybody to come make their points in front of him, and then he'll debate right there and come across, and he goes around the world and lets people have their point, and he says his point, and lets all the information come out and let people decide on their own. I do kind of respect that part about him, and this, but yeah, they over here inciting violence, telling people you need to, lock up and start, that's probably what's going on. You got people on highly medicated individuals, highly medicated over here on mental changing, biological changing drugs. Yeah, they need to, let's put guns in those people's hands. Yeah, that's not how that sounds good.
You're shaken up, but you're doing a great job of keeping us informed on the lay of the land here and what happened. He was tossing hats that said 47 on them, obviously in support of President Trump. What hospital would be the hospital that he would be taken to, or anyone who's injured in that area would be taken to, Jason?
Well, fortunately, we have a really good hospital, Utah Valley University, Utah Valley Hospital. All the level 1 trauma situations, if I get the numbers right, the highest degree of trauma. We're not used to dealing with a lot of shootings here in Utah, quite frankly, but if you had to extract somebody and get them there, it's a matter of minutes away. Mm-hmm. I don't know how quickly they were able to do that, but there is a very, very good medical situation right there. And then, of course, there are other options, but the closest one is right there in Provo. This happened in Utah, in Orem, right at off of I-15. And like I said, it's a commuter campus. There's no on-campus living. There's very little of that. Most of these students commute, and between BYU, which is a few miles away, and UVU, there's about 100,000 students. Mm-hmm. So we got a big student population. And this was a great afternoon.
And very much a community, as you say. Yeah. Everybody lives close by. The Utah Valley Hospital, and I cannot confirm that this is where he was taken. We're just trying to figure out what would be logical. Has a level 2 trauma center. Yeah. It is in Provo, Utah, as you said, Jason. So we're going to continue to get this information as it comes in, and we're trying to be obviously as accurate as we possibly can as we wait for an update on his condition. I know Jason's going to stay with us, and we thank you for that. I want to just bring in, we're going to go to the White House now for a moment. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt posting on X, please pray everyone's prayers going up right now for Charlie Kirk. I'm joined by senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich, reporting live from the North Lawn. Jackie, welcome. What can you tell us from the White House today?
Yeah, Martha, I just got this from a White House official. I'm told the Situation Room and the National Security Advisor, Marco Rubio, who's also serving as the Secretary of State, are both actively engaged. They're monitoring the situation and they are in contact with state officials. So you've got the Situation Room here and Rubio looking actively into what is going on, receiving updates. And I've also inquired anything they know about the suspect or his condition. I haven't heard anything on that yet. But I did go up to Upper Press immediately when this news broke to see if anything was coming out on this. And I was told that it had just happened and everyone was in the Oval Office. I was told we'd have an update soon from the president. And he did put that out. He posted on Truth Social, "We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him." Now, remember, Charlie Kirk, who leads Turning Point USA, did a lot of work in support of the president's reelection campaign. Turning Point USA obviously engages young voters, conservative voters, and President Trump in this election really turned the tide among that demographic, which is historically an unreliable voting bloc, and turned out young voters. Charlie Kirk played a huge role in that. He was active in support of the president on the campaign trail and is obviously beloved by a lot of people here. We've seen well wishes coming out from everybody from the president to the vice president, the Secretary of War, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, everyone here just awaiting updates on his condition and also looking into actively who perpetrated this. So we'll bring you any other news that we have. But the breaking news from here is that the Situation Room and the National Security Advisor are monitoring this. Martha.
Jackie, thank you very much. The video that you're seeing right now on the right-hand side of your screen is people scattering, which is understandable after this shot rang out. We're told that it was one shot, but of course that is something that could change as we get more information on this too. But you can see the perspective here. I mean, it's just chilling, really. I mean, you watch all these people spreading out, and because we've had so many of these sorts of incidents and people see school shootings and the like. This feels like something different. This feels like a very targeted attack in this case, but the scattering is what you would expect as people run for shelter and safety in this situation. Pam Bondi, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, about this shooting, the Attorney General of the United States saying that FBI agents are on the way. You can bet that this entire area will be secured as they begin an investigation into the direction of this bullet, where it was fired from. And obviously, as we continue to get information on this suspect, which we're told suspect in shooting is in custody, we can assume at this point that this person is alive. That's what we're reporting at this moment. We don't have any reason to think anything other than that. There are some videos of someone being taken down to the ground by police. We don't know if those are accurate or if those were, someone in the crowd or indeed the person who pulled the trigger in this horrific and tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk. We're also waiting for more information, and we will bring it to you as soon as we get it on his condition. No details yet, other than that this was obviously
I'm sure they're there by now.
A very serious situation. And Jason Chaffetz reported, and we saw on video that you can see Charlie Kirk hit and then falling back and to the left out of his chair where he was speaking at one of his very popular Prove Me Wrong sessions on college campuses. So we'll keep a close eye on new information. I want to bring in now, this is actually, let's start with this new statement from Utah Valley University. We had a speaker, Charlie Kirk, invited by a student group, Turning Point USA, speaking on campus today at noon at about 12:20. Shots were fired from a building about 200 yards from the speaker. Now, this is new. According to the best of our knowledge, the individual was hit and was taken away immediately by his security personnel. That individual, of course, is Charlie Kirk. Campus is closed for the rest of the day, and our campus police have a suspect in custody. So that is new information. 200 from a building, 200 yards from the shooter is with the newest information from the university. And obviously, the investigation is just beginning in all of this. Joining me now by phone, Fox News, Fox and Friends weekend co-host Charlie Hurt. He co-hosted the show with Charlie Kirk just a few weeks ago here in New York, and is a friend, someone who knows him well. Charlie, welcome.
Indeed, Martha. I count him as a very, very good friend, and I am absolutely shocked. And obviously, as you and all of your coverage so far have pointed out, this is just absolutely heartbreaking. And our prayers go out to Charlie and his beautiful family. It was just about an hour ago, actually. I was on the phone with Jason talking about other things. Jason Chaffetz talking about other things, and he told me that he was there waiting for Charlie Kirk, and said there like 2,000 people have gathered on this beautiful day just to hear.
Yeah, I agree. But like, people can't handle a difference opinion. You know, this if you have a difference in opinion, they or even kind of show them up on their opinion, they freaking throw a damn tantrum and act like a 2-year-old child. You know, it's a wild world we live in right now, and it's okay to do that. It's looked upon by certain groups of people that it's okay to throw a fucking tantrum and act like a 2-year-old child. It don't make sense. You know, hey, we got a different opinion. Okay, we have different opinion. We can talk and we have conversation, and you know, sometimes it is what it is. You know, we agree to disagree or something like that, whatever. But you know, like I said, of anybody, like I said, Charlie Kirk is one of the ones that actually will let people, you know, hey, have different opinion, come in front of him and talk and speak their mind and their thought. You know, a lot of times he would put them down and you know, and kind of show them up for, you know, what their idiocracy was saying. But, you know, and some can make a point, and, you know, you see both sides, you know, but, you know, just, hey, let's go shoot this man who has a wife and family because I disagree with his point of view is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Charlie Kirk speak, and the description he gave was so beautiful. I asked
sure
him
your
to send
husband was shocked
a picture
too,
of
Karen.
it to me, and he took a picture and sent it to me, and I showed it to my wife. We were driving somewhere, and I said, "This is the kind of crowd that Charlie Kirk brings on a college campus." And as Jackie was just pointing out, you know, Charlie is the best of America. Charlie is the kind of guy that likes to talk, likes to engage with people, and engage with people who aren't normally as active in politics as they should be or might be. And he's done it so brilliantly. And he is the best of what we have to offer. And the idea that something like this would happen to him, you know, the reason our country works is because of people like Charlie Kirk. And the only way our country doesn't work is when people resort to violence in order to silence people like Charlie Kirk. And so right now I am praying for Charlie and his beautiful family, and I'm praying for our country too.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the impact of Turning Point on the last elections. And, you know, we've seen the youth vote, young men in particular, really migrate over the past 10 years towards President Trump and towards conservatism on American campuses. So talk to us about that, Charlie.
And I think a lot of it has also to do with the idea that there was so much, especially on college campuses, that you're not allowed to talk about, and that there is so much indoctrination on college campuses today. And Charlie Kirk recognized that. He recognized it very early, and he recognized that he recognized it in a very personal way too, which is why he quit college. He spent enough time in college to realize that this was indoctrination. He wasn't like learning the great things you're supposed to learn when you go to college. And so he quit. And I've always admired that so much about him, that he walked away from college because he recognized how, and you know, we shouldn't say this about, you know, every teacher out there and every college out there, but for the vast majority of these places, it is about indoctrination today. And he recognized that, and he walked away from it. And he also recognized an opportunity as a young man. I mean, he was like 18 when he started to recognize the importance of actually reaching those students who were like, you know, who had been sort of shunted to the side in this indoctrination effort. And he talked to them in a very mature way, the way, if you're going to have a democracy, if you're going to have a country, a republic, where we are self-governed, you have to have people who are informed, and you have to have people who are educated, and people who can have debates. And Charlie met them at that spot, and he did it better than anybody I've ever known. And he reached them, and because he treated them as grown-ups, as intelligent people, and talked about the things that a lot of college professors didn't want them talking about, he reached them in a very powerful way. And that's why come 2024, in the last election, I would say that there's probably no person outside of President Trump himself who was more important at helping President Trump reach those people he needed to win re-election. I don't think there was anybody who was more important than Charlie Kirk was. And it was all because he believes in debate, and he believes in engaging people in the democratic process, which is what we're all about.
Well said. Charlie, thank you very much. We'll come back to you. Let's bring in Tomi Lahren, who was joining us today on the story. And obviously, Tomi, this is just an absolutely heartbreaking development this afternoon, and we're waiting to learn more about Charlie Kirk's condition. But your thoughts, Tomi, as you watch this unfold?
Well, Martha, I've known Charlie for over a decade. We really kind of started in this business together. And ever since he started TPUSA, I was one of the first people that was a speaker and a friend. And we've done many college campuses together. And I have since done many college campuses as a speaker for Turning Point USA, very similar to what Charlie was doing today. So this is so surreal for me. I'm praying for him. I'm praying for his family. This is just so horrific. And I got to tell you, Martha, there are so many of us conservative speakers who go out and do these events, and we want to talk to people, and we want to engage, and we want to have dialogue and debate. And it's so difficult to even organize these events because the security situation is always really anxiety inducing. I've been at TPUSA events at the University of New Mexico where the SWAT team had to be called in. I've been at an event at Clemson University that, of course, also had to have a big security presence because of the threats and the protesters. And it's just so sad that we've gotten to this point in this country where on college campuses where there should be so much dialogue and debate, this should be the epicenter for this discussion, has now turned into this environment where particularly conservative speakers have to fear for their lives when they go and just try to engage in a conversation. I'm so sickened to hear this. And like I said, first and foremost, I'm thinking of Charlie and his family.
Tomi, talk to us about Charlie, you know, as a person, as a friend, as a husband, as a dad. So Charlie, like I said, I've known him since we were both, I was in my very early 20s. I don't even think he was in his 20s yet when I met Charlie Kirk, but he's always just been a visionary, and he understood very early on that having a counterculture and having conservatives speaking and speaking to young people in relatable ways was so important. And he has always been so dedicated to that, from the very beginning when the events were, a couple dozen people to maybe a couple hundred people. And now, of course, thousands of people see Charlie Kirk and attend these Turning Point USA events. I mean, he really built this himself from a very young age, and he recognized that there was a void in conservative speech and in conservative speakers, especially on college campuses. And he recognized that, and he's worked so hard to create these events, and he does such a good job with them. And he's actually opened the door for so many young conservatives to have a career and have, a voice in this business. A lot of us really owe a lot to Charlie Kirk, and that's why another reason why this is just so sickening for us to see. Yeah.
Can you hear me now,
shooter
Blake?
is in custody. We want to
There we go.
emphasize
Just
that.
need to
We're
get a
waiting
little
to
closer.
learn more
But yeah,
details
I may
here,
probably need
both
to talk up
obviously
because I know
first
I
and
was hitting the
foremost
yellow a
about
little bit
Charlie's
ago. So I
condition,
was
and
talking
then
lower
also
to keep from hitting
about
that damn
this suspect.
maximum
I
thing
believe
out here
Charlie was
without
18 or
having to adjust
19
my
years
mic.
old when he started Turning
But yeah,
Point. And Tommy, thank
you
you
know,
very
I've
much
dealt with like
for
all
being
my
with
friends
us.
and
We're
stuff.
all obviously praying for Charlie and praying
Yeah,
for
I got
his
the
family
clip playing in the
as we
background
cover this
too. I
story.
guess I
Tommy,
can
thank
get it real quick. Fox is loud. Damn Fox. Damn Fox News. But yeah, I had friends of mine and stuff that had turned around, and you know, and we all had difference of political opinions, but hell, we all hung out. And you know, later on in life, that I see now, I see how they're doing and how they're, what they, their political side of everything and stuff. But back in the day, we all hung out. We all were cool, and um, so like people with different opinion can get along, but now like it's pushed this message of with like the shows like like the View and all them are just shoving and pushing on people to to alienate. Just like when COVID happened, you were supposed to alienate your family, and if you didn't agree, with Trump, they want they're pushing people to alienate their family. Well, if your family don't agree with you, or if they're a Trump supporter, then you need to cut off your family. And it's like, and this is their goal, is to cut families in half and take away people's support systems, and just because of political bullshit. you know there's no point in the political bullshit getting away from through family, and there's no point in somebody, especially like Kirk, that let anybody talk, get shot, you know by an old ass boomer. It's probably highly medicated or just fucking grumpy. He didn't get his depends were full of shit today, and he decided he want to start some trouble. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it's wild. It's wild for sure. See what they got to say real
Your
quick.
thoughts on that, if indeed that turns out to be accurate?
Look, who am I to suggest that the authorities may have gotten it wrong? That may be a little bit preliminary. I was in one of those buildings. Those windows, a lot of those windows don't even open. I don't know. Charlie was sitting under an awning. This is sunken down. So if you're sitting where Charlie is, it graduates up. Now, are there angles where buildings are available and to a would-be assassin? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. I can tell you, just sitting there, and again, maybe it's the emotion of it and not looking or expecting it, it seemed like the shot was closer and that it was more direct. But I just, where he got shot and finding the perpetrator.
Yeah.
I just feel for his family, his wife, and I just can't even imagine.
Do you know if she was there today, Jason?
I didn't see her. I didn't see her. It doesn't mean that she wasn't there. Right. Like I said, my plan with Charlie was to try to get together with him afterwards. So I don't know. I didn't see her.
Yeah. I think we have a new post from the Vice President, J.D. Vance. Can we put that up? Do we have that up on the screen? All right, we're building that, but obviously.
Yeah, the footage I've seen, like I said, I'm not, I'm posted. I shared a glimpse of it, but I'm not sharing the footage of him getting. I'm not gonna do that. It's easy to find. You scroll down Twitter and there's like 7, 8 in a row of the same footage, but it looks like I would imagine he must have been up away, didn't have a lot of people around him, because I guess we would find out what kind of caliber weapon it was used, and then you could really maybe zoom in on kind of where it was, how he could have hid, if it was a handgun or what it was. But it does look like, to me, It looks like it's from a pretty good distance. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, of course, I'm just looking at, cell phone video footage, and but the way the video shows, and the ones, especially the ones that kind of back, it kind of in the way the shot rings, it's kind of was like behind them and to the side to me. Just listening, like I said, I could be wrong. Just gut feeling. So I imagine he was out by himself or out kind of alone where there was nobody there, because if he turned around and pulled out a gun with everybody, with a big group right there, one, there was been a lot of screaming beforehand. Somebody would have seen it, and somebody might have tried to stop him. So yeah, I've seen that, Indy. I've seen a lot of them are saying he's gone, but I have not seen any. I've been scrolling through while this has been playing. Yeah, James, Charlie Kirk is one. He kind of goes around to schools, and he debates or has, discussions, open discussions with all kinds of, anybody can come up to him, if you, whatever you feel like, if you're atheist, if you're, you want to talk religion, if you want to talk, politics, whatever, he would let people come in front of him, and he would have discussions with them, and he would tell his point of view and let them tell their point of view. And like I said, on some of the things he talks about, on his point of view, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't know if anybody I agree with everything they say in the world, but he was good for that. He did a very good try to do that, and trying to bring people together. It seemed like was his goal, and actually, having the open discussions, and that's how you get everything. You get people together. You have open discussions and talk. Like we have on our shows and stuff like that. In a small, we have open discussions. Like, hey, we can talk, bounce back and forth. Last week, I brought I'm more moderate, rightish leaning, I guess you'd say, if you had to put anything. I brought a Democrat politician on the show last week. I don't care, it's having and had a very good discussion and very good back and forth. It's about having conversations and everything. What's up, Hiker? What's up, Cubs Future? Appreciate y'all popping in on my kind of last minute, and then I had a gut feeling I need to come on live today, and man, I hate this is the reason. Maybe this is the reason my gut was telling me I need to come on live. I don't know. I do want to talk about, we're going to have the show tonight, so hopefully everybody can come back for the show tonight. It's going to be really good. Y'all pray. If y'all pray for Charlie Kirk, and because somebody decided to try to take him out. Like I said, they do have the person in custody. They have a person in custody. Let me share real quick. There he is. Share this tab instead. Here's the old.
That's the right to remain silent.
Said he has a right to remain silent. Why is he saying that? That right there makes me wonder.
That's the right to remain silent.
I wonder in my brain of, programming people, or just
That's the right to remain silent.
or just them delusional, and just like I said, they allowed all the crazy shit that and if you turn on and watch CNN every day and MSNBC, every day, all day, I'm sure he's retired. He looks, he's sitting at home and watching this. He keeps saying he has the right to remain silent over and over again. Let me shut up and turn it up.
Has the right to remain silent.
Over and over again. Like, this is weird. Like, why, if you had the right to remain silent, then why are you even talking? He does, but why is he talking? Like, shut up. So yeah, Jason, tonight's show is going to be, I believe it's going to be really, really good. I'm looking forward to showing the footage and everything we have. Like I said, I got over an hour of just, if I hit play and we just sit back and watch footage. So, and I'm steadily adding. So, I don't know. It's going to be fun. It could be I'm going to turn that off. It could be another attempt, gun control. They're pushing, you got people pushing, like, hey, if you have certain mental issues, maybe, limiting guns to them, which, I see that, but when you do that kind of talk and use those words, then you can manipulate however you want to. You could be anything. They could put the wording of, your ADD is in there, and if you're ADD, then you don't need to have a gun because your mind runs around too much. If you're schizophrenic, there's lots of terminologies and words that they could use that they could turn around. Well, we're not banning guns. We're not limiting the Second Amendment. We're just not allowing people with mental issues to get them. Well, 90% of this country has some kind of mental something. It's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. They have little issues and here and there. So if you turn around and start using the right terminology, then you could actually put in the books and, lock a lot of people up if they want to, or, or start confiscating a lot of damn shit. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm thinking too, Jason. He said, Jason, the Knights of the Storm, said, I think they're going to use the training thing to push the red flag gun laws, and it will be extended to people on medication and veterans with PTSD. Yeah, they're and more. I think. Yeah, are you quit smoking and on Chantix? We'll need you come to, if you could have anything, any kind of drug that, and then you don't even realize if it changes your mental state, and you turn around and I'm like, wait a minute, that mental, it could be used. Absolutely. They could twist shit around really, really quick. Well, if you're on these type of medications, then we are nixing we're pulling your license. And that's all they had to do to sign. They could do a little backdoor Christmas vote like they did the what they've done before many times. Yeah, a bunch of people are, a bunch of people are ADD, ADHD, all the food dyes and shit they put in our foods. It's like increase and cause more of it, and then, there's a lot of people on Prozac and all that kind of stuff. They could use that against everybody. Well, if you're on these class of medications, or if you're on any damn medication, then you're Come here. Bring them in. Turn them in. Everything you're licensed for, and it'd be sad, like, for all the people that's done what they're supposed to do and got their license and got their all their paperwork and doing everything they're supposed to do, and all of a sudden, well, now we're gonna come and get all that stuff because we know you have it because you got it licensed. I know people better start building some underground bunkers with pew-pews in them and hide the door. Yeah. And that's crazy. The bump stocks and all that crap. Yeah, Biden did pistol braces. I mean, that's not the issue with all that kind of stuff. The number they don't want to look into with the pew-pews is how, comparison, how many registered weapons are doing crime and how many numbers filed off weapons are the ones doing crime. What's the percentage of the numbers there? I know, that's the one they won't come out. You can have outlaws on guns and stuff, and it don't matter. It's like in England, you can't have a gun. So what's their increased in crime on murder is stabbings. Their stabbings is up. Yes, murder. They don't have gun crime. They don't have gun murders. They have stabbings all the fucking time, and their numbers are astronomical when you actually look at it. If people with mental issues are having problems, want to take somebody out, they're going to take somebody out some way or somehow, and it don't matter. Like that poor girl that was in the subway or whatever. And dude just pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed her in the neck and walked away. Like, it's crazy. If mentally handicapped people want something to do, they're going to do it. It's one of them things. So we have to be cautious. You have to have your head on the spin. You got to see around. And it's not judging people. I don't. Like when I walk through Memphis, I don't give a damn if they're black, white, yellow, green, purple. I don't care what they are. I'm looking at them and seeing what they're doing, their body language. And that's truly a lot of the keys you can see is like body language and seeing what they're, if they looking nervous or whatever, like if they looking kind of crazy, I'm getting on the other side of the road from them. I'm getting away from them. Well, but I do have a bad habit. So somebody's staring at me, I just stare back at them and crazy, looking back at them, So, but you have to watch yourself, in these cities and anywhere. I brought up the comment. Who was I talking to about that? What if prohibition had never happened? How different this nation would be? If prohibition had never happened, if they had outlawed alcohol, how amazingly different this nation would be. Because you turn around and you wouldn't have the Kennedy empire, because they made all their money off bootlegging off the beginning. All the gangs made it rich off of it. A lot of people got very wealthy. The government was poisoning people, putting poisons in alcohol, trying to kill people. But what would happen in this world, in this nation, if prohibition had not happened? Like if that was one of the key factors in this nation that caused a certain path it went on. And if we took that out like an alternative timeline, whatever. It would. I'm just curiosity. Yeah, maybe so. We wouldn't be as rich. Maybe so. I mean, there would be a lot of people who wouldn't be as rich for sure because that's what they bought. Like I said, the Kennedys, that's what they built their empire on. Yeah, that is a fact, Jason. The CIA was creating drug lords and shipping drugs in. At the same time, we were having a war on drugs. On everything if you notice in the last last 100 years, or more than that, actually, it's more than that. Everything that's turned around has been funded on both sides. We fund wars. Well, we don't fund wars. Not this group here, but people fund wars on both banks. Fund wars on both sides, all the way back to 1800s and before. Funding both sides of wars, and and basically that's and they're funding both sides of the drug war. Uh, they're using that, and then you turn around, instead of having government owned prisons, hey, well, we got a good idea. Let's start building private owned prisons so that people have a incentive to want to put people in prison because of profit. If it's public, hell, it's it is what it is. The government's going to pay the money, and it is what it is. There's no profit in it. But when you start going privately owned, then you got profit right there. So it's hitting and making money on all sides, all the way around. That's what I know. Trump's uncle was the one that took all of Tesla's trunks. He was one of the ones that was there when they took all his trunks, and they took all that information and all that stuff. And of course, they said, "Well, we didn't really see nothing here. It wasn't nothing very valuable in them trunks," even though a bunch of them are still missing to this day. Before that, Karen, if you go back to the '60s and stuff like that, hell, you had the music. CIA infiltrated the music, and if you look at a lot of your favorite musicians, here's your rabbit hole for the folks listening. If you look into a lot of your favorite musicians, find out who their fathers or mothers are, and who they tied into and what they are. And a lot of them are FBI or CIA. And so it was absolutely. Yeah, James, that's true. Make something more popular is the band outlaw. It's like telling your kids you can't do that. You can't do that right there. You can't go out with your friends or whatever. What's going to happen? They're going to want to do it more. It's the same thing with with the drugs and stuff like that. They turn around. Well, you can't have this. Well, people are going to go, wait a minute. Now I want to do this more because people told me, just that American spirit. Well, you told me no, then I want to do this more. I want to do it now. I didn't even, some people, I imagine, well, just be in spite. Well, I didn't even like this shit, no, but because you told me I can't do it, I'm going to do it anyway because just in spite. Yeah, I got that book, Karen. The Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon is, and it talks about how you're everything, how they infiltrated all that stuff in the '60s. Put it on the camera. Here we go. Yeah, y'all check that book out if you want some good information. I don't have my Whitney Webb books. some other good books. What is the name? Doggone it. One Nation Under Blackmail. I don't know if y'all looked into those books. There's 2 volumes of it. That's pretty interesting reads. I let Dave borrow them. That's the reason I don't have my books. Letting Dave read them. He'll give them back to me when he's done reading them. But yeah. That is ironic, isn't it? We went to war in 1776 over a 3% tax. You know, now 50% of our income is through taxation of various types. You know, we tax everything. You know, even if you own your property, you got to pay property tax till the day you die. You know, though they talk about they're going to try to change that. You know, but I don't know. We'll see about that shit. But I hope it'd be nice. You know, especially for like for like my parents. You know, they're retired. You know, dad's semi-retired. He's doing whatever he wants to do, kind of. But you know, well, they 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 don't have to worry about that money. They don't have to worry about the taxes on the property. You know, especially live in a big city or something like that. And that's some sure enough money you got to come together with. You know, luckily they live out in the country and with low tax rate, so it's not that much comparatively. But you know, we shouldn't be taxed on that. You know, we taxed on food. If we buy something, we turn around and tax again. We buy a car, we get taxes on that, and then we pay taxes again. We'll get the tags, and you know, it's crazy. but we have representation. Yeah, we have representation. Nice. Karen said redacted is saying Charlie Kirk is alive, so that's awesome news. Hopefully, I don't even want to scroll on Twitter because that's every other freaking video right now is. Of course, the libs are excited about Charlie Kirk getting shot. What's up, Bex? Appreciate you popping in on here. We started out just talking about for the ones that's popping in. We were talking about all the crazy stuff going in Nepal and all the stuff going in the world, and then and telling people about the show tonight. Going to be a really good show. We got Knights of the Storm joining forces with AIP group, and we're going to have a good conversation on 9/11 and then Charlie Kirk got shot. So we've gone to that and talking Charlie Kirk. But thankfully, it looks like he is alive. Uh, you know. Oh, no doubt there was some. There was 8:30 Central Time, Bex. 8:30 Central Time. We'll be on for uh who knows. I got over an hour worth of video and content for sure, just hitting play. So I know we'll probably be at least 3 hours. We'll just see how everybody does, and who knows. Narrow way, no doubt. There was some corruption and stuff that happened with the founding fathers and how some things were brought in. It wasn't perfect. And it's like one of them things, like, there was a lot of people didn't even want to go away from England. Most people, actually, I think most people didn't, but a small group did, and that's what we did. It was as a nation did. We a small group wanted to, and by God, and that's the reason 1776 happened, and here we are. But that's good. Stable condition. Awesome. I'm Charlie Kirk. Glad to hear it. It's for somebody that tries to bring people together. That is a wild number. 750,000 in debt as soon as you're born. You're born into debt. A bit like that meme though I seen, like who do we owe? Who do we owe for all this debt? The world has so many trillions of dollars in debt, and it said Jupiter. Yeah, Washington and Benjamin was Freemasons, which Freemasons turn on with Templars, direct line. Yeah, I agree, James. No one should be happy that he got shot or hurt or whatever. If we difference opinion, and that's what I say. That's what social media and what the mainstream media has done. They pushed people to the point of, it's okay to hate your brother. It's okay to hate your sister or your mother because they have different opinion. It's like this video. This woman was sitting there living in her car because her boss, she's like, she got her a job, and then she found out her boss voted for Trump, so she quit her job. I'm like, just because of that. And then somebody tried to help her, like rent her a room cheap, and then she found out they voted for Trump, so she left there because she'd rather live in her car. And it's like, and then that's her prerogative. That's she feels that vigor of the hatred. But why you hate somebody so bad that you won't even try to better your own life and put yourself in a better situation just because of I work for people that voted for people I didn't agree with. That don't mean I quit. As soon as I found out, oh my God, I knew who they voted for. I knew who part of the presidents of the company, some of the owners in the company, who they voted for, because they would turn around and go, hey, this is coming up real soon. You need to vote for this person. Kind of push, nudge. They can't really tell you where to vote for, but they would nudge certain grades. And it was very, they were very understanding which way they leaned. I didn't quit because I didn't agree with their politics. The only time I threatened to quit was until I did quit was over the shot. I told them I wasn't doing it. I wasn't getting jabbed, and my whole crew was coming with me. Yeah, narrow way. I one shot. If it was somebody, a regular person, they would pop multiple shots out there. Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't seen the weapon. Let's see if I can find. I'll bet Glenn Beck is. I seen a bunch of on Twitter. It was posting videos, and they're not very visibly. And I get the man's name out there already. Charlie Kirk shooter was Michael Mallison, a registered Democrat in Utah. Let's see what. See if we can find it. Hey, I'll share this video because he's over here dragging. I was trying to see, but it said they have not released. I haven't seen it yet. They haven't released what gun it was, but it's pretty funny. They picked this old bastard up, started carrying him out.
This is the guy that shot him?
He would drag his ass. Thanks, Bex. Yeah, I hope to see you tonight. Like I said, it's going to be a great conversation about 9/11. I hope I share stuff and everybody else shares stuff that no one's never seen before. They just dragging that old bastard across the road. Get your ass over here. That's great. Damn Rumble, Jason. Damn Rumble. I was wondering why you hadn't. Yeah, Rumble might be rumbling. It does that sometimes. It just. You were all alone for a while, Jason, and then James popped on, and here comes a few others, which I'm glad. Yeah, Karen, if you can join, come on. I I think I can do up to 8. So I thought I had to look it up. Yeah, 8 guests and 1 host. So actually, I can hold. It'd be 9 of us in there. So yeah, I got room for sure. I knew I could do 6, and so if you're able to come on to the link and come join Jason, that'd be awesome. Hopefully, Ashley can come too. Like I said, I wouldn't mind having the whole Knights of Storm crew and then Jamie and Dave on my side. Should be fun. Should be interesting fun. So, and at least you already, at least you know how Riverside works already. Yeah, I had sent Jason the link, and he was hoping everybody could. But yeah, no, if you can come, please come. Tonight. So yeah, I hope you ought to do. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll have the link down, and for others possibly could come in. I probably have it. I might have the link in the description like we've been doing. I don't know, having 6. I've never had that many that I've had to deal with, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. At one time, I watched a bunch of shows like that, so I think it'd be all right. I've never hosted a show with that many people, so it's gonna be fun. Lots of good content, lots of good stuff. Uh, but I didn't believe I only got 2 hours in. It happens like that. I turn around, going to sit here and just pop in for just a little bit, and then, of course, we didn't know what all this stuff's going to happen with Charlie. So, but I guess, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming on. I'm gonna get off here now, and I'm gonna go find me some food. I won't lie. Please come back tonight. We will be here on the Rumble. We'll be appreciate it, Yona. We're gonna have we're gonna have a great discussion. It's gonna be a bunch of fun. So please come back tonight and join it. I just seen oh hey Dawn, I just seen you popped in there. Yeah, Charlie Kirk got shot in Utah. But yeah, y'all come back tonight. Appreciate y'all. Check out the links in the description and all that good fun stuff. I'm surprised nobody that didn't wear something like that. They swore all kinds of crazy stuff during COVID. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Like I said, I'll see y'all tonight. Please come back tonight. It's going to be a great show. We always try to have fun and have a great show, So I got lots of fun stuff to share, and I got extra stuff. If we run out of stuff to show on 9/11, which I'm sure I'm not, but we're gonna have a good time. And so make sure the ones are in the background. Make sure you like and share and subscribe. So hit that little note. Make sure you're on the Rumble. You can hit the notification bell and make sure it says instant. And of course, hit the notification bell on the YouTube. And so you can, when I pop in, because I might do this on lunchtimes, I'll pop in here and there. So like I said, much love, and I appreciate y'all. And it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a fun one. Y'all take care, and as always, keep on keeping on, and the peace and the chicken grease. Y'all be good, and I'll see y'all in a few hours. Much love, everybody. Thank you.